On June 5th, 3 days before Anthony Bourdain took his own life, paparazzi photos of his then-girlfriend, Asia Argento, and the young French reporter, Clement, 28 years old, were published in the Italian gossip magazine Chai. The photos showed the two holding hands, kissing, hugging, and dancing on the bar in Rome. Argento fought to have those photographs pulled. Bourdain was mysteriously no longer following his girlfriend on Instagram. Argento then posted a picture, an Instagram story of herself in a Sid Vicious t-shirt that captioned, "Fuck everyone, you know who you are." 3 hours later, Anthony Bourdain took his own life, and then she deleted that Instagram story. I wanted to cover this story at the time, as I am a fan of Anthony Bourdain's television shows. I am not a fan of what his politics were outside of TV, but I find that in order to really enjoy art these days, you just have to separate the art from the artist. Many of the bands that I listen to a lot of independent rock, indie rock, bands like The National, which I truly love. I just can't follow them on Twitter or Facebook because they're always espousing far-left ideologies, things like that. But that's the right way to live, I think. You have to separate art from the artist. I mean, I still think Lethal Weapons are good movies, even though Mel Gibson is a little out there. But his death and the subsequent fame whoring from his girlfriend and other people of the Me Too movement spawned an article on Penthouse, which is, of course, I only read for the articles, but I want to share parts of it with you because I think it's well written, and this is one of the few times that I'll link to an article without doing the archive because I think it's pretty fair. On June 8th, celebrity chef, author, and food show host Anthony Bourdain hanged himself in a French hotel room. Although he had openly talked about his battles with addiction and depression, the world was shocked that he had taken his own life. The question on everybody's minds was why would he do this? Now, this is the second high-profile celebrity, Kate Spade earlier, doing the same thing just a few weeks beforehand. Depression is something that doesn't really care about your financial status. It doesn't care about things that we look at when we ask why this happened. And because of Anthony Bourdain's openness about his depression and addiction, that's why I connected with him. But as the press storm raged on, another question arose. This one not about why Bourdain did it, but how his girlfriend, actress Asia Argento, and friend of the couple, actress Rose McGowan, came to be feminist heroes to so many American women. These things are connected because the fact that Argento was dating Bourdain. Oh, how are these things connected besides the fact that Argento was dating Bourdain when he died? So the author then goes through with it. Because what was unfolded in the wake of Bourdain's death is a display of chronic predatory narcissism from Argento and McGowan, these two women have used and abused the Me Too movement, which they have been at the front lines of since the beginning, for their own personal gain. I know it's uncouth for me to say that, but I'm saying it. I'm uncouth. Kick me off the planet, ladies. I'm not arguing that Argento's public indiscretions with French journalist Hugo Clement caused his death. People cheat on another. I've been there. Most of us have. It's very true, right? I, for one, have made blah, 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 blah. That said, it's ironic that Bourdain's death, we have witnessed a display of totally irreconcilable behavior from two women who are among the most prominent faces of a movement that centers around accountability. Born in Rome, Asia Argento was a rich son of a bitch. Good for her, right? On October 10th of last year, journalist Ronan Farrow published a bombshell New Yorker article in which 13 women made allegations against Hollywood kingpin Harvey Weinstein, sharing accounts of sexual misconduct and harassment, but also rape. Credited with initiating the contemporary Me Too movement, the article detailed what it called Argento's rape experience with Weinstein, one very similar to Rose McGowan's own experience with the producer. Wrote Farrow, Asia Argento, an Italian film actress director, said that she did not speak out until now. Weinstein, she told me, forcibly performed oral sex on her because she feared that Weinstein would, quote, crush her. Argento went on to tell Farrow, and though he had crushed a lot of people before, this is why this story, in my case, is 20 years old. Some of them are older, has never come out. And you know what? I wasn't going to go there, but fuck it. I am. I'm going to go there because someone needs to. American journalists are too scared. They're cowards. This is true. Their opinion pieces, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, Argento and McGowan describe Weinstein giving them oral sex and both say they faked an orgasm in hopes of getting the experience over with as quickly as possible. Calling this rape is doing our society, including sexual assault survivors, a disservice on so many levels. I was raped when I was 15. I know a lot of women will accuse me of victim blaming, but at this point we have to remove the impenetrable shield that one receives when she's considered a victim. This is very poignant. In the way that harassment or terms like Nazi, things like that have lost all meaning, so has rape. She then went on to have a consensual relationship with Weinstein for years. The New Yorker article is what thrust the Italian actress into the American cultural conversation. Before this, the American media knew nothing about her. Yes, Weinstein is a predator. We don't disagree on that. Argento was not blackmailed. She was not threatened. She had a sexual relationship with Weinstein, which resulted in a transactional, consensual union because, let's be honest, that's how Hollywood works. Fast forward a few years, and Argento saw bigger opportunities. She could brand herself as a survivor. Anthony Bourdain met Argento on the set of his wildly popular CNN show Parts Unknown when he was filming in Rome. Argento, a single mother of two and Italian celebrity, ended up a guest on the show. February 2017, not long after they met on camera, New York Post confirmed the two had started dating. Bourdain was openly supportive of Argento's involvement in the Me Too movement, as she rose to be one of its most prominent and vocal crusaders. Bourdain never held back when standing up for her or any part of the Me Too movement, even defending McGowan and her feminist activism. The Me Too movement has accrued a strong new male ally in Bourdain. Bourdain had built a brand around captivating storytelling and a no-fucks-given attitude. He was honest about his shortcomings, struggles with deals, alcohol, and depression, while detailing the craziness of the culinary world. So you like him. Okay. Bourdain gushed publicly over Argento, and when it came to her career, he was her biggest supporter. This is what you do when you love someone and you believe in them. He wanted her to succeed because he adored her. His influence led her to a new role, to be a judge on the Italian version of X Factor. He hired her on to direct an episode of Parts Unknown when the series filmed in Hong Kong. The segment aired on June 3rd, and in the closing scene, Bourdain stated that one of his many fans had already figured out when it came to his feelings to Argento. To fall in love with Asia is one thing, to fall in love with Asia is another. Both have happened to me. But in the days leading up to his suicide, things between the couple seemed to get rocky. On June 5th, 3 days before Bourdain took his own life, paparazzi photos of Argento and the young French reporter were published in Italian gossip magazine. The photos show the two holding hands, kissing, hugging, and dancing in the bar in Rome. Argento fought to have these photographs pulled. Bourdain mysteriously was no longer following his girlfriend on Instagram. Argento then posted an Instagram story of herself in a Sid Vicious t-shirt that said, "Fuck everyone." Caption the image, "You know who you are." 3 hours later, he killed himself. And she deleted the image off Instagram. Hours after it was confirmed that Bourdain had died, Argento quickly posted a statement regarding her boyfriend's death on Instagram. We've all seen the message. It floated through American media for weeks. Argento inserted herself into the coverage surrounding Bourdain's suicide and received an outpouring of sympathy. While Bourdain's wife of 10 years, Octavia, they had separated back in 2016, remained silent, removed from the circus. Why was Argento, who had only been dating Bourdain for a year and a half, speaking out on his behalf? Instead of the woman he was legally married to at the time of his death, the mother of his 11-year-old daughter. Why has the American media been tiptoeing around the scandalous romantic photos of Argento and Clement? As numerous eloquent tributes to Bourdain were published, Argento decided she was too grief-stricken to continue speaking publicly, and she handed the torch to Rose McGowan. The former Charm star penned a letter to the public on behalf of Argento, which McGowan's publicist, Nathaniel Barrick at Brigade Marketing, promptly emailed to Rolling Stone. McGowan reminds the reader it is not a sexist thing reader to not do the sexist thing and burn a woman on the pyre of misplaced blame. And that she says Bourdain allegedly reached out to a doctor for help with his depression but did not take his advice. McGowan also states that Argento Bourdain suffered from depression, but she did the work to get help so she could stay alive and live another day with her children. While Bourdain's depression usurped him, his decision, not hers. His depression won. So she blames Anthony Bourdain, right? It's so fucking disgusting. Although Argento claimed she was so distraught that she required McGowan to be her voice, she has been very active on social media, filling her Instagram feed with stories and posts. In one of them, she posed wearing a Suicidal Tendencies parody shirt while touting the hashtag Staying Alive. In mid-June, a mysterious Instagram account called Justice for Tony emerged. Then, shut down some days later, there were people on social media pushing for the account to be stopped. However, when it was initially live, the first post was a black box with a cryptic comment. Not surprised she blocked me. Having the truth out there is becoming too uncomfortable. She was a monster to him. She took an already very damaged and sensitive man and destroyed him. His friends, coworkers tried to do their best to make him see what was going on, but he would just push everyone away. No one could say anything negative about Asia, or Tony would try to remove them from his life. This sounds like a very abusive, manipulative relationship, one that he willingly entered in. So make no mistake about it, Anthony Bourdain is his own man and made his own choices. In the end, those pictures were too much, wrote the creator of that account, referring to the paparazzi photos of Argento and Clement. He must have finally realized what she was doing, and the world came crushing down. What led to his death? Was it just depression? Blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's always more complex than that. Men don't deal with humiliation the same way women do. Men sometimes murder their lovers over humiliation. They also kill themselves over feeling humiliated. That doesn't mean that women should be held responsible for men's behavior. I agree. But we should recognize how powerful we can be. We can choose to use our power any way we want. Maybe we should acknowledge that power so we can proceed accordingly. In the comment section of Justice for Tony, its creator went on to detail the fighting that took place between Bourdain and Argento before their death. So he goes through this, right? I would be skeptical of this random anonymous reveal if it weren't for the fact that Octavia Bourdain, Anthony's wife, was following Justice for Tony, ex-wife. So was she running the account? Who knows? On May 20th, at the Cannes Film Festival, Argento gave a speech about her 1997 alleged rape by Weinstein. The Washington Post and other media outlets hailed the moment as powerful. I wouldn't call it powerful. Argento was on stage to present the award for Best Actress, and she used the spotlight to talk about herself and to further the Me Too agenda. She then had the audacity to throw shade at Ava DuVernay for not giving her enough support as they shared the podium during the impromptu speech. Argento later tweeted to Mia Farrow that no one came up to her and acknowledged her speech except for Spike Lee. Did she give this speech with the expectation of praise or to advocate for a movement she claims to care deeply about? Last month, McGowan hired accused child killer Casey Anthony's lawyer, Jose Baez, to represent her in court as she's facing up to 10 years for cocaine possession. She claims that Weinstein planted the drugs in her wallet in an effort to delegitimize her. Two women who dreamt of being famous movie stars have now selfishly and irresponsibly used Me Too movement to suck whatever amount of attention and fame they can from it. They have used this movement to help only themselves. And I feel like I've mundaned this article plenty enough, and I'll leave a link so you can read it, but it's tough. There are bad people out there. There are bad men out there. There are bad women out there. It's just, you don't really hear a lot about the deceptive, cruel women. It's just not a popular article to write. That's why this article got very little play. People using this movement to catapult their own personal careers is exactly what I would expect. The Me Too movement is being profited on the same way the Gamergate hashtag was during its time. Hashtags are just another platform to turn into money. And if there is such a thing as toxic masculinity, then there must be toxic femininity.